What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for the match analysis of the Burton Albion versus Manchester City 1-0 Manchester City victory, 10-0 on aggregate Carabao Cup semi-final second leg analysis. So we're going to crack on with this video, and one of the biggest talking points of the whole game was actually Manchester City's lineup. So we're going to have a little discussion about that before we start off with the game. So Muric started in net. You know, we was all expecting that. Danilo and Zinchenko went on the wings, that's no surprise. And we saw Garcia and Sandler slot into the middle with Fabian Delph. I thought was going to sit in front of them, but it ended up turning out Kevin De Bruyne went deeper and sitting in front of the defence, with Delph getting forward more, and then Phil Foden sitting at the top of the midfield. And then we saw Riyad Mahrez and Ian Poveda going on the wings. Debut also for Poveda, so well done to him, brilliant. And Aguero up front, so a relatively strong forward. We had some younger players on the bench. I was surprised to see Grimshaw on the bench, considering he played in that under-21s game on Tuesday, but he'd been put onto the bench for this game, so Edison was given a rest. We also saw Felix Nemicha, and also Luke Bolton, and also Taylor Richards too. So fantastic for all them being able to get to feature in the Manchester City squad and get a feel of what it's like to be in and around the first team, so it'll have been a great experience for them. And we also saw Benjamin Mendy on the bench as expected too. Like I said, a strong side, not our strongest 11, not our rotated cup team. That'll probably be out against Burnley, which was similar to the starting 11 we saw against Burton Albion in the first leg. This had more youngsters into it, and so it had a little bit more of a disjointed feel to the Manchester City team. Unless this team played 3 or 4 games consecutively with each other, you won't be able to see the quality shining through, and it kind of showed on the pitch, as Manchester City had enough quality to win this game. We didn't have enough quality to be able to get forward and create an abundance of chances and try and make it 4, 5 or 6, which is what I'm sure some people were expecting, even Burton fans. But for Burton, they were facing a game where they needed to win by 9 to stand a chance of taking it, I think, to a penalty shootout because they've scrapped extra time. I'm not too sure if they've scrapped extra time for the semi-finals or not. Most of the other games have gone to penalty shootout straight away rather than having extra time. I don't know, but Burton needed 10 goals to win by 10 goals to win this game, so it wasn't an easy task for them. I was surprised that Ben Turner started in the game and John Brayford was left on the bench, and Ben Turner ended up getting injured in the first half too and going off, and they still didn't bring John Brayford on. They ended up bringing on, I think it was a left back, and moving the left back to centre back. I presume that Clough likes doing a lot of rotation, and it likes versatile players that can play in several different positions, like Lucas Akins playing at right back. He's a player that likes to get forward, play on the wings, can even score goals, so it's a surprise. He likes players that can play here, there and everywhere. It reminds me a little bit of a lower league Pep Guardiola, in my opinion. Anyway, we're going to crack on with the analysis of this game. So early chance came in for Burton, free kick came in, I think it was from Quinn, I'm not too sure who did the flick on, but it took all the pace off the ball with the flick. Right idea, very good chance, and a good save by Muric to be able to get down well to save it. Otherwise it would have been 1-0 Burton, and Burton, I'm sure, just wanted a goal in this game. They'd been ecstatic scoring past Manchester City. Imagine if that went in, we took the lead against Manchester City, against Pep Guardiola. It'd have been fantastic. I feel dead sorry for Burton. Was really cruel to them, keeping 2 clean sheets, battering them in one leg, and thought, nah, we'll win this game as well. So I apologise, Burton Albion fans, for that one, but it is what it is. And then anyway, Mahrez, he had a couple of chances before Man City did end up scoring. One which fizzled just past the post, it was unlucky, and then another one that flashed past the post from a bit further out, not as tight an angle, where Mahrez, if he probably played a few games, would have put at least one of them chances away. He needs more game time. More game time he gets, I'm sure he'll start finding his feet again, like we saw at the beginning of the season. But anyway, this time, instead of having a shot himself, unselfishly just passes it back to Aguero, takes it first time, slots it in on 26 minutes for 1-0, and that's kind of most of the talking points of the game. Great ball by Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne has it in his locker to be able to do this, but he cannot play very well. His passes can become disjointed. He looks like he's not having a very good game. You can tell when he's not with it completely, like yesterday. He needs a lot more game time to be able to get into that top level that we know he's capable of getting to, but a lovely ball to play in Mahrez. So he still does have it in his locker even when he's not playing well, just to be able to create chances. He's a mesmerising player, and I'm hoping he'll get more minutes over the coming weeks, and we'll be able to get De Bruyne back up to where he needs to be, because he is a world-class player. But that took us in nicely to half-time. Wasn't wasn't a lot to talk about. A bit of a meh game in my opinion. The game done, we're 1-0 up, 10-0 on aggregate. You know what I mean? We looked rusty, we were struggling to put our passes together, we were struggling on the cold pitch. Parts of it was damp, so players were slipping. Parts of it was extremely solid because it was so cold, because it was freezing. And it was a nice small pitch where Burton was able to defend in numbers, be aggressive in the tackles and get forward and create chances too. Garcia looked like he was doing decent, but I was a little bit disappointed with the performance of our senior players that were playing. So Delph did a lot of misplaced passes. Mahrez was trying to get involved in the game. He did alright in the first half. In the second half, I wouldn't really hear much of him. Sergio Aguero wasn't really involved. He scored his goal, but wasn't really involved in the game. And like I said, De Bruyne looked extremely rusty. So these are the players who's looking to make the difference, and it weren't really showing for them. I thought that all of them needed 90 minutes, in my opinion, to be able to get them back up to that match preparation level that they want to be at. And so the only way they're going to do that is getting more and more minutes in more and more games. So I'd have thought they'd all played the 90 minutes, but they didn't. For Burton, look like they've not got the quality to really hurt us, is the note that I made for the game. They didn't have the quality. We were making mistakes. They didn't have the quality just to put the ball into the back of the net and just get in the attacking third, being able to create chances. And they were looking to try and make things happen. They were putting balls in, but Man City were dealing with the balls going in. And they was a little bit unlucky, I thought, particularly with that free kick. But all in all, against better sides, teams would have punished us, but we wouldn't have been put this side out against better sides. That is no offence to Burton, by the way. It's because we're 9-0 up. We didn't have this team out in the first leg. We got criticised for being disrespectful for Burton, but if we put this side out and it was struggling and looked disjointed and we only won at the Etihad 1-0, we'd be getting criticised then. So you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. Into the second half, Aguero missed a great chance on the hour to double our lead. Foden was offside. It was just carbon copied, but from the other wing, from the left wing instead of the right wing. Foden squares it across. Aguero's there. Should have scored, should have just tapped it in like he did in the first half, but he didn't. Foden was offside, so VAR would have ruled that out because Foden was offside in the build-up. Then we saw Aguero go off and Gabriel Jesus come on. I presume they're trying to get Gabriel Jesus a few minutes just to get him prepped, because I imagine he'll probably be starting in the match against Burnley. And then you'll see Aguero come on in the second half of that game. So Kevin De Bruyne go off. I felt like he needed 90 minutes under his belt. He didn't get it. We saw Mendy come on instead. I'm not too sure why we sent so many youngsters down there not to play in the Checkatrade Trophy game and just to sit on our bench. Bit disappointing. I understand Grimshaw, but a few of the other players maybe could have handed debuts to instead of risking Gabriel Jesus coming on when particularly we didn't need to. But there we go. We saw Felix Nemecha come on though. That's always a bonus to make his debut. He came on for Zinchenko. We saw Mendy going at left back. So well done to Felix Nemecha on making his debut, and well done also to Poveda on making his debut too. Both of them looked quite lively in this game, in my opinion. Next up, we saw a Miller shot blocked so well by Eric Garcia on the line after a slip by Sandler on the wet surface. Muric came in, rushed out, made a good interception. Ball fell to Miller, who had a shot for after taking, I think, one touch, and it was a brilliant block by Garcia. But he really should have scored, in my opinion, so they'll be disappointed that they didn't score. And that's what I was on about. They didn't really have the quality there to punish us when mistakes were made. Better teams would have. On the 88th minute, City on the counter. Danilo came forward, somehow manages to find Gabriel Jesus, who somehow manages to be able to create a chance, turns one man, gets one-on-one, then does a very disappointing shot straight at their goalkeeper, who saves well. Like Gabriel Jesus, he has it in his locker to be able to unlock defences and be great, and he has it also in his locker to then go and miss. He's like a technical Raheem Sterling, but playing in the middle as a centre forward, as a striker. That's what he reminds me of. But he will find the net at times, and other times he won't. All strikers do that. And then, last minute, Danilo had a free kick. Well struck, straight at the keeper, simple save, tips it over, and there we go, full time 1-0, 10-0 on aggregate to Manchester City, and we're on to Wembley to defend our trophy in the Carabao Cup final in February. I think on February 24th the game is. Burton, they're unlucky not to score. Not an embarrassing result, this one. They can hold their heads up high in this game. Defensively, they look sound, aggressively being aggressive in the middle, they look decent as well, and going forward trying to create chances. Also fine. In my opinion, in terms of effort, an absolute 10 out of 10 from them. And to be honest, they've got something now that can keep their heads up held ties. They've got a sense of closure, if you get where I'm coming from, where it's been playing on the mind for the last couple of games. You've been hammered by Manchester City. They know now that they went toe-for-toe with a strong Manchester City side, only lost 1-0 and created chances. They can take a lot of confidence from this game now and push on for the season. So I wanted to be the first to say good luck to Burton Albion in the rest of the season. It's been a pleasure playing you over 2 legs in the Carabao Cup semi-final, and hopefully we'll be able to meet you in the Cup at some point soon. And if you work your way through the leagues, you never know, one day we might meet you in the Premier League too. Now, we're going to check the stats of this game. So Burton, 30% possession, 70% for Manchester City. It's no surprise. 6 shots in total for Burton, 2 on target. For Man City, 10 shots, 5 on target. Yeah, we're not at our clinical best. 324 passes, 72 pass completion rate for Burton. It's decent. It's decent. 779 for City at 87% pass completion rate. We're a lot better in the second half with our passing. It's only not at around 90% because we looked very disorganised with our passing and concentrating on the ball and not really linking everything up well in the first half. That's why that's dropped by about 3% from what we're normally used to. But there we go, 8 key passes to Burton's 5. City created a couple of clear-cut chances, put one away, didn't put the other away. In terms of recovery, City had more recoveries, we had more corners. In terms of defensive stats, tackles, City put in more tackles. But listen to this, I said Burton were aggressive in their tackling. 11 out of 19 they managed to successfully complete their tackles, 11 out of 26 for Manchester City. So they had the same amount, but City attempted more. So, like I said, Burton, they did well in being aggressive. More interceptions by City, more blocks. Burton had more clearances, so quite close on the defensive stats, more headed clearances. In terms of aerial threats, Burton won more in the air than what Manchester City do. We normally win quite a few in the air, but with our centre-backs being Sandler and Garcia rather than Laporte or Otamendi or Stones or whoever, where we ended up seeing the aerial duels go down a little bit. But more saves for their goalkeeper too. But all in all, a decent game, I thought. It was a competitive game. Wasn't pretty on the eye by any means, but it's a typical lower league match. If you used to go and watch Championship and League One games, you get hard-fought games like that, and that's what it reminded me of. Balls getting hoofed up, cold nights, frosty pitches, hard tackles, things like that. Yeah, a great test for everyone that was playing, and so I thought we did so well to actually win this game. We didn't have any competitiveness there. We'd already gone through, obviously, so absolutely brilliant. In terms of our performance for our players, Eric Garcia gets my man of the match. I'm not too sure why Sky Sports didn't give Eric Garcia man of the match. He was absolutely outstanding in this game. Thought Muric did well in his closing down in this game. Thought Danilo looked pretty solid. He's looking very like a senior player in this game. He's Kyle Walker's in a lot of trouble here of keeping his right back position from Danilo because he's having an excellent season so far. Garcia looked decent. Sandler at times slipping, misplaced passes, but all in all, he had a pretty decent game in my opinion. Didn't look out of place. I feel like if he could have a run of games at a competitive football team, so I'm on about if he went out on loan and got some good season or so under his belt and got lots of games, he'd probably come back being a very well-rounded centre-back slash defensive midfielder. Thought Zinchenko looked like what Zinchenko does. Fabian Delph needs more minutes. Phil Foden went at his best in this game, I didn't think. Kevin De Bruyne far from his best. Riyad Mahrez, I've seen him have better games, but he made himself involved, particularly in the first half. Unlucky not to get a goal in my opinion, but got himself an assist, and same with Aguero. Didn't look like the normal Aguero, but still got himself a goal, so what more can you add on to that? Thought Poveda worked hard, had a good debut in my opinion. Gabriel Jesus looked nice and fresh coming on, so I'm looking forward to seeing him possibly on Sunday too. Nice to see Mendy coming back, and it was nice to see Felix Namicha making his debut too, and he looked lively when coming on. So all in all, decent, fairly decent. So next game, we're looking at Saturday, 3 o'clock PM GMT against Burnley at the Etihad Stadium. Win this and we'll go into the FA Cup 5th round and go into the last 16 for a game to be played in the middle of February, when we've got a little gap in our fixture. That's when that game will be if we win that game. So I'm looking forward to that game. We're going to have a preview up to that tomorrow, so make sure you stay tuned for that, and we'll have the analysis up probably Sunday morning just after the game. So there we go, that's been the video. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget, leave a big thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more football and Manchester City content. Just press the red button and press the bell if you want to put your push notifications on. And don't forget, check out my Twitter and Instagram, my social media links, they're in the description below, along with my email if you want to hit me up with any sponsorships or any business enquiries, then you can do. Don't forget to go and check out my JSGC vlogs, my vlog channel. I'll leave the links at the end of the video, along with my brother's partner channel Mixed, doing mixology drinks. So there we go, that's been the video. Hope you all enjoyed it. There we go, Wembley, here we come. So there we go, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you all again soon. It's been JSGC. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace. Ciao for now.